Welcome, everyone, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau. Harvest is such a big time here in Sonoma Valley, and it's been culturally, at least as far as I'm aware, in my limited knowledge of art, represented through a lot of like paintings and songs and things like that. And a famous one is this guy whose name is like Bruegel or something, and he's this Dutch guy, and he painted, like peasants having a big wedding. And if you look at it, there's all sorts of different details of like, someone serving bread and someone eating in the corner and people playing music. And it's a real snapshot of small town living and kind of like that harvest celebration. I bring that up because this past week we had a toast for the Sonoma's 200th wine grape harvest. We've talked about it a little bit here. And we invited everybody down, the Sonoma Valley Vintners and Growers. Robin's been on the podcast before. She said, hey, everyone come down, bring your sparkling wine. We're going to get in front of City Hall. We're going to do a big photo, and we're going to toast the new harvest. And so the final photo, which is on our social media, but essentially looks very similarly to that Bruegel painting of everywhere you look, there's a different detail, and it's really kind of funny seeing like the champagne popping in the air and the corks. Shauna Davis is there, the chef. There's a bunch of winemakers, Ned Hill from La Prenda, Tony. There are so many different winemakers and funny different people here. And every little shot is a funny little action. And it just is a great snapshot of small town harvest celebrations. And we're so excited about it. Now, listener, that would have been a great intro if the guest I thought was coming was going to be here and I got mixed up. I thought I was interviewing someone from the Sonoma Valley Museum of Art. And that'll be next week. But the great news is I've got a fantastic guest, a very special guest. And this is a very special guest. I really actually do mean it because it turns out he knows a little bit about art as well. And he slipped that in when I said, hey, you're not Linda. In fact, my very special guest is Matt Leffert with Jack London Park Partners. Matt, how you doing?
Howdy. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Just so you know, we do have a museum at the park. So
you do.
You have a museum person
Thank
regardless.
You. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm like 15%.
I'd give you 25%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and that just sounds like my report card. So, so mom and dad, D's get degrees, although 25% still. But yeah. So one, thank you. That was really funny. You walked in, and I was like, my mistake. But thanks for showing up, and thanks for coming here.
Yeah.
Matt, tell me, what is Jack London Park Partners?
Jack London Park Partners is the nonprofit organization that operates Jack London State Historic Park, and we have been doing so since 2012.
Okay. And have you been there that whole time, or?
I have not. I joined at the perfect time in February of 2020.
Let me guess, 2020, yeah.
Yeah. So I had these great plans for the park. I was coming in. It's this park that I loved and have known since I was a kid. And then all of a sudden the world ended right when I got there.
You're like, hey guys, I got a big plan. It can only go up.
My predecessor, Chiska Van Wyk, knew when to get out when the getting was good.
Just pulled that cord and jumped.
Yep, exactly.
So we'll talk a bit about the Jack London State Park, but before that, were you in the museum world when you came here, or were you?
So prior to coming here, I worked for the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy. Oh. That's the nonprofit that supports the Presidio Trust in the Golden Gate National Recreation Area.
Okay. So
I actually worked in this park partnership space,
a
nonprofit supporting, in this case, national parks.
Yeah.
But I also had a partnership in Marin called OneTam, and that was the 4 public land managing agencies in partnership with the Parks Conservancy. So I had actually worked with the State Parks District Office that also is
Mount Tam.
Mount Tam and Jack London State Historic Park are all in the Bay Area district.
Oh, right, for the state parks.
So I knew all those folks at state parks as I moved into this role at Jack London.
So you're not new to this world, this public-private partnerships, and sort of being mindful of the resource that you're kind of protecting and promulgating and telling the story about.
That's right. That's right. And I've spent most of my career in that space. I worked for the Fine Arts Museums of San Francisco.
Oh, is that the one with the thinker?
That's
Rodin?
right. So the DeYoung and the Legion of Honor, and that's the Rodin, the thinker that's in front of the
For those that are watching,
Legion of Honor.
did it
Yes,
properly?
right. Yeah. So
good.
the visual thing is, yeah. Tim's got it right.
I got it right down. Been there on field trips.
Yes.
Been there on field trips. The DeYoung, quick side note, when it first opened, I was working at San Francisco Travel, and they were doing a tour, and Dee
Dee Wilsey.
was giving the tour. And I was told by my boss, Lori Armstrong, to get over there because they're doing a press tour. So I hopped on the bus, and I went over there, and I got my name tag on. And Ms. Wilsey saw my name tag. She said, Mr. Zahner, you are here? And I said, yes. She's like, how did you get here? I said, I took the bus. And then I realized she thought I was from, actually it's called the Zahner Copper Company that did the entire cladding of the DeYoung Museum.
Yeah.
So she was a little shocked when the CEO flew in on the 30 bus.
And took the 5 Fulton to get there. Yeah.
Like you take the 30 Stockton and then you transfer. Yeah. And I the whole tour, she gave me a tour. It was great.
That's wonderful. Well, I was there. I was there for the opening.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
That's a great museum.
Yeah.
And like sticks up like a dinosaur over the tree.
We had while the DeYoung was closed, we had our offices downtown, and then it was just this big moment when we got to move into the new museum. It was really exciting. So our paths
we
must have crossed.
definitely waited in line at Lee's Deli together to get our sandwich.
Oh yeah.
And barked at by that loud guy. We were probably both there. That's because our offices were right around the corner.
Yeah.
Well, so that's wonderful. Let's go back today then. You're at Jack London State Park.
I am.
Who is this Jack London guy, and why does he get a park?
Well, he gets a park because he actually owned the ranch that is the park.
Got it.
And it's interesting. He's a really interesting, special character for so many reasons. Very famous writer, first writer maybe to earn $1 million, also first writer to spend $1 million.
On bad decisions and whiskey?
Well, he spent a lot of it on Beauty Ranch. And in fact, he considered himself a farmer rancher first and wrote to really support the innovative new farming techniques that he was experimenting with at Beauty Ranch. So when he saw that little spot on Sonoma Mountain, he just fell in love. Right. And this was a man who had traveled everywhere by the time he had landed there and met his second wife, Charmian London, at Wake Robin Lodge. So I think what attracted to him to that place is what attracts us all. It's just a really, truly magical and beautiful place.
It is a wonderful park. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's in Glen Ellen, which is just north of the city of Sonoma by about 15 minutes. Unless the schools are getting out, in which case it's 25 minutes.
Yes.
But it's not far away from the city of Sonoma, and it's above Glen Ellen, which is itself a special little hamlet.
It is. In fact, I kind of call it Glen Ellen's town square from above.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Yeah. And you're right by Benziger Family Wineries right before.
We sure are. Yeah.
What I like, you mentioned Jack London, for our younger listeners, they probably don't teach as many Jack London books as they used to when I was younger.
That's right. So he's no longer on the required reading list.
He's not?
California. No, can you believe it?
Kids these days, what are they TikToking all day?
If you have, so Call of the Wild is probably his most famous novel. Yeah. He wrote 50 books before he died at the age of 40.
Oh.
Yeah.
What would you do before 40?
I read 50 pages of Pearl S. Buck's The Good Earth.
Did you? Good for you. Yeah. That's actually a great ending, by the way. Wow, before he was 40, I did not know that. He died at age 40.
He did.
And he liked the ranch so much, he's buried there.
His ashes are scattered underneath a volcanic stone, and so are Charmian's and his stepsister Eliza. Okay. And we just put in a new sign there that acknowledges that both Charmian and Eliza are there as well.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tell me, for people who are just from the state park point of view, or the park itself, what can people see when they go visit? There's a lot to see there. And for first-time visitors, often
people will show up and know nothing about Jack London, Charmian London.
Right.
And they're introduced to this really exciting historic character. And you can explore the historic area at Beauty Ranch. There are these beautiful stone barns. There's the cottage where Jack wrote some of his most famous books. There is the building that is now a museum that Charmian London built after Jack passed away.
Is that the House of Happy Walls?
The House of Happy Walls. It's called the House of Happy Walls because a lot of the things that they collected on their travels are now hanging on the walls there.
Okay.
And she built the place intending it to be a legacy to her husband.
Got it. Okay. How long did she live past his passing?
A long time. Yeah.
Okay.
So she died in the 50s. So
okay.
she was there quite a bit. She traveled around.
Right.
It was really his stepsister Eliza Shepherd that kind of kept the show going over there.
Okay.
And the Shepherd family are still on property. So the Shepherd family own the vineyard inside the park.
And that vineyard makes grapes or grows grapes. I think Kenwood Vineyards.
Kenwood Vineyards,
make-
and they have a series of Jack London branded
Yeah,
wines there.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Did Jack, quick on the vineyard, did he grow grapes initially?
He didn't. That wasn't really a big part of. He had some grapes, but
Right.
he was experimenting with other things. You can see the spineless cactus that Luther Burbank developed for him. We've got a little patch of cactus that helps tell that story. We've got a lot of eucalyptus that he planted there, thinking,
We all didn't,
"Boy, I've
we
got
don't
the
make all good
answer."
choices.
Yeah. He wasn't the only one to make that mistake. But yeah, you see a lot of what Jack was trying to do there.
And he had something with pigs. What's the story about the pigs?
So the Pig Palace.
Pig Palace.
Yeah, the Pig Palace. It was this. It's still there.
Okay.
Beautiful, and probably one of the most successful things that he built there. Yeah, it was a piggery.
Right.
So and it was this really innovative concept. So if you go up there, it's this sort of circular stone structure, and along the side are where all of the sows were kept, and then they had little backyards on the back there where they could roam, and it was designed so that he could save on labor there, and one person could care for the pigs there
In
that circular configuration. Yeah, and then you could clean it out, and the water all drained out.
Gotcha. It is pretty funny when you go up there and you think, oh, this must have been an old water tank.
Yeah,
Like, no, this is where pigs lived.
It's where pigs lived, and lived pretty well.
Yeah. That's a good thing there.
Yeah, a lot bigger apartments than some New York apartments.
Was Jack always was he born into like farming? Is that his background?
No, in fact, he was born into very modest means, and he was born in San Francisco, grew up in Oakland.
Okay.
But he didn't have the means then, and so he did not have a background in this. He became a farmer through his own curiosity.
A gentleman farmer had enough money to experiment and not rely on the food.
That's right. That's right. But he was trying to solve for, farming practices that he observed were not sustainable.
Got it.
So the way that he acquired the land up there was from failed farmers, pioneers who would go up there and farm the land and deplete the soil. And Jack believed that if you repaired the soil, if you fed the soil, that you could bring back that landscape to a thriving, nurturing place. And he was right about that.
Absolutely. He was kind of an early predecessor to a lot of Sonoma Valley wine growers think that now, right?
Biodynamic farmers.
Right down the hill from you.
Our neighbor, Glentucky Farm, Mike Benziger has a farm there, and he's also our board chair.
Oh, is he? Okay.
And he also provides a lot of guidance and mentorship for our own
Okay.
Nature's Design program.
Wait, what's that?
Whoa. Nature's Design, it's a 7th grade course that we teach up at the park.
Okay.
And it meets next gen standards.
Okay.
And we have over, I think we have 400 plus 7th grade students who participate in that,
This is great.
including Altamira, School in Cloverdale, Petaluma Accelerated Charter, and some others. And in fact, we're only limited by our own capacity to teach those kids.
Do they come on site?
They do. So our educators go into the classroom, and then the kids come into the park.
Okay.
And the course culminates into this Rewild My School project, and we have a design competition at the end of it. It's not part of the required course, but I think some teachers can choose to make it a requirement.
Okay.
But this past year, we had nearly 40 entries, and you've never seen something more inspiring than 7th graders with these elaborate models about how they're going to make their increase biodiversity at their school.
On their school grounds.
On their school grounds. So they use the actual layout of their schools, and they introduce these really interesting, innovative concepts that they learn through the program. And so they're sharing with us these really complex models using the terms and phrases that they learned throughout it, and then they're presenting them. So the presentations are just, off the chart.
That is impressive.
It is.
Because in 7th grade, we just did crappy shoebox dioramas of, books we read.
We've had the first, second, and third place winning models on display in the museum, actually up until today. And then on our gala on September 20th, we invited the 3 students who were part of that winning team.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Let's go to the gala because I said you with Jack London Park Partners, which is like a nonprofit that helps the park, right? You guys kind of have a contract to run it or something?
We have an operating agreement.
Okay.
So we actually are responsible for the day-to-day operations.
Okay.
We don't get any public funding to do that.
Wow.
Our earned income comes through entrance fees and some other ways, but that accounts for less than a third of our operating budget.
Wow.
And the rest of it, we just go out and hustle for.
Big borrow.
And a lot of it comes in at our gala.
So this gala is a big event. It's September
big
20th. Last year, you accidentally put me on the guest list. I snuck right in. It was amazing.
You're
fantastic.
You're invited again this year. Yes. By the way, my friend.
It was fun. You guys had beautiful. Caterer had set up this really amazing grotto in the trees, and people were enacting these different kind of wild animals / I don't know what you want to call it, but
we keep it fun. Yeah, there's
really cool.
not a ton of production around there, but something the beauty of the place speaks for itself.
It does.
So you can have a picnic lunch and have a great time there.
I've had travel writers up there. They couldn't believe how beautiful it was.
Yeah.
But with the gala, we were in the ruins.
Yep, we eat in the ruins. Yeah, we're going to do that again this year.
These stone walls that kind of go around you on 3 sides, 3.5 sides, kind of fills in, and you feel like you're in a stage, and the ruins are about I don't know 5 to 8 feet tall, right? You're in a
little higher than that, and then behind them you see the vineyard behind it, and then Sonoma Mountain,
and then the moon's right there, and I'm like, what? This is like a movie.
Yeah,
it was
pretty
amazing.
special.
You guys did a good job. That's September 20th. If people, just a quick side note, if people want to buy tickets to that, is that something they can find?
They sure can at jacklondonpark.com.
Okay.
And they can scroll down and click on the gala and buy tickets.
What, can they buy a table if they want?
Oh, yes.
Oh, they can
and
buy
I
a
actually recommend it.
I think that's because you can get a bunch of friends together
Yes, and you get to curate your own table.
and have a good time. Yeah,
Right.
because if you don't buy a table, you might sit next to me, and that'd be horrible.
That's right.
Because I'm one guy that takes food off people's plates. So if they buy a table, the gala September 20th. I want to real quick, Matt. It's so funny because people who probably haven't been to Jack London State Park are like, "Wait, I don't get it. You have a house, you have this writer, you have another writer, Charmian, you have all this wilderness, and you have a vineyard. Like, there's a lot going on there. How do you describe this to people?"
You know, it's sort of a tale of two parks, a tale of three parks. Mm-hmm. A lot of our locals, we've got over 30 miles of trails on Sonoma Mountain.
Okay.
Some of the most incredible hiking, and you know, especially during those summer months to the hot months, mostly shaded hikes, hikes all the way up to the ridge, treated to some beautiful views. We have an ancient redwood. Yeah. Second and third growth redwoods, other mixed forest types, oak and bay. So it's a really beautiful spot. Just take away the history, the significant.
Yeah, so you're like just a beautiful, like Big Sur. You're out there, like that's a state park people know about. Like you're out there, wilderness.
You're having a world-class California park experience.
Right.
A very unique one. So that alone would make it a great park. But then you also have the historic areas of Beauty Ranch. You have the Wolf House ruins of that gorgeous house that Jack built and intended to move into, and that tragically burned a couple weeks before he could move in. And then you have a museum, and then you have another visitor center, the Cottage, where Jack London did live and spent a lot of his time. And if you go into the Cottage, you have the experience of seeing it just in the same way that Jack did. So original furniture in there and artifacts.
Okay. You can see the rooms where he wrote and where
You
Charmian wrote.
you get a real sense of what it was like when Jack London was there.
Huh. It is kind of funny. People go, "What's to do at Jack London Park?" I'm like, kind of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's no camping, right?
Not yet. Not yet. Someday,
I feel like I should put in dun, dun, dun. Because we always tell people, if you want to camp, go across the valley. Sugarloaf has camping.
Great camping.
And then, didn't you guys have, I might be mistaking it. Or maybe it was Hood to Sugarloaf. There's like a hike between the two?
So we did North Sonoma Mountain.
Okay.
So if you drive over to that side, you can do a through hike from there that connects to the park. And we occasionally we do some special programs where we have a shuttle service.
That's what it was. Okay.
We did one not too long ago.
And that's probably from Roanoke Park's on the other side of that hill. Is that right?
Yeah,
it's a regional park. And then you kind of work your way over to Jack London State Park. That's Sonoma Mountain.
In fact, so folks get confused because there is a new section of the Bay Area Ridge Trail that starts at North Sonoma Mountain, and it says to Jack London Park.
Right.
So if you hike that, it's actually just to the boundary of Jack London.
Oh, it doesn't go into the park.
Not all the way down into what most people would consider the park in the historic area. So if they end up wanting to hike all that way, they've hiked a pretty long
to turn around and go back.
To have to turn around and go back.
It's too bad.
More than one person has made that mistake.
Oh, no. Okay, so maybe we'll have camping, but there's picnics, there's hiking, and there's the history aspect of it. If you are a hiker, or in your case, because you're like a runner person.
I'm like a runner person.
Yeah. But you're like one of those ones that does like a lot of running. You guys have a thing called the Wild Trail Challenge. What is that?
We introduced the Wild Trail Challenge last year. The president of our board, Malcolm Walter, had decided that he needed to hike every inch of trail in the park.
Okay.
So he set out to do that. And he kind of mapped out these different routes.
Right.
You know, you've got to do some backtracking.
Right.
And cover some of the same ground. But he did it over, I think, 6 hikes. I had joined him for one of those.
Right.
And while we were talking, that's how we do a lot of our meetings together.
The walking, talking.
We walking and talking. We thought, wow, wouldn't this be a great idea to introduce as part of our hiking series?
Right.
And how great would it be to say, hey, I've hiked every single trail at Jack London State
That'd be
Historic
pretty
Park
impressive.
and parts of the newly acquired area in the Sonoma Developmental Center.
Right.
So we do it, it starts September 6th, it's next Saturday, into October, those 6 hikes.
And they're every week, and you get a chance to try a new part of the park.
Yep. And they get increasingly more
Yeah, as I say,
challenging.
So the first one, because my wife did, as I said last year, and she noticed the first one was like the flat area by the Pig Palace, and just sort of like, I think it was introducing stuff, right?
We ease you in gently into it.
And then
next thing you know, you're hooked and you're in too deep and you find yourself climbing to the summit.
Matt's got his crazy trail running shoes on, and he's got a bandana on. And he's like, let's go up to the ridge.
We decided at the end of the series for all of those hikers who completed all of them,
right,
they would get a pin.
That's a great idea.
And it was great. We thought, this will be a nice thing.
Yeah.
Those folks, I see them now and again wear that pin with pride. So
and they should, because they've earned it.
They have earned it.
They've absolutely earned it. Okay, I love that. People can find more information about that on the website, I take it.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's Wild Trail Challenge.
Wild Trail Challenge.
For the Jack London State Park. We mentioned that. Matt, how did you end up getting into this world? Like, did you go to school and be like, I want to study museums and parks? Like, what?
I made the mistake of majoring in history.
Yes, liberal arts for the win. Yes.
Yeah, if you want to make the big coin.
You don't know the answers, but you know how to ask the questions.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, if you're a curious gal or fella.
You studied history.
Studied history, and I at some point I thought that I might go to law school.
Yep.
My sister's a lawyer, my uncle's a lawyer, my grandfather was a lawyer. I thought maybe that's
it might be.
Maybe that's what you're supposed to do when you grow up.
Yeah, sounds like you have a criminal streak in your family. Lawyer joke. So
you might not be wrong on that. I don't know. Yeah.
But you chose not to do.
I chose not to do that, and I ended up working in the nonprofit world, and I ended up working in this public-private partnership space.
Okay.
And I saw the need for the private sector, nonprofit sector, to partner with government agencies to leverage those resources. And in the case of parks, state parks, the state park system is one of the most impressive.
Yeah.
In the entire world.
No, California state parks are fantastic.
281 park units.
Wow.
That's a lot of parks to care for.
It is.
It's one thing to save and protect them. It's another to steward them in perpetuity.
That's a good word. Yeah.
So, the reason why our nonprofit organization is there operating the park on behalf of the state of California is that in 2011, 2012, state parks had a financial crisis. But long before that, there just were never enough resources to care for all of those parks. So there are a lot of nonprofit cooperating associations, mostly volunteer-led, who'd raise money could paint the cottage, raise enough money for a new sign, maybe host an event here and there. But nothing to really solve the bigger problem, which is that parks, especially like Jack London State Historic Park, with so many historic structures, so many needs beyond what the California state budget could provide, needed a community to support it. And when our park was threatened with closure, a group of community members turned what was just a cooperating association, mostly volunteer-led, into a professional nonprofit organization, basically overnight.
And it can get donations then, right?
Can get donations, can do all the things, can engage the community more deeply, can reach out, as you said, to the philanthropic community, provide pathways to invest back in the park. So we do that in partnership with California State Parks. They are still there. They're still responsible for a lot of the cultural resources there, for the natural resources. They, in the past few years, have introduced a really impressive prescribed burn program, vegetation management programs. So state parks are still very much involved day to day, and we partner with them very closely. But the role that we play is we turn the lights on every day, and we're responsible for the everyday upkeep and greeting every visitor.
Dust
and
out the cobwebs, empty the garbage, make
all
sure the
the-
picnic areas look good.
Make sure the bathrooms are clean.
That's very important.
Make sure the trails are cleared. But what we also do that is additive to that is that I touched on before is this environmental education program.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, you have to create some scaffolding around
Right.
this. And part of that includes engaging young people and new audiences and making the park relevant and accessible to the broader community.
Don't you guys have like a writing contest or something?
We've got a now international writing
International. Yeah, 'cause the kid from France. No, where was the kid from that one?
Well, I think we had an entry from India.
Okay.
And 2 winners from Pennsylvania.
Which is itself a foreign country. Because the Pennsylvania Dutch.
That's right. You have to have some kind of a passport or some documentation to get into Pennsylvania.
Yin's guys. So this is like a Jack London writing contest.
Yeah.
Sort of like inspired by. You don't have to write like Jack London.
Yeah, and designed for 6th and 7th graders primarily. Huh. And for a long time, Californians were running that and winning every year. This past year, because we had out of state and out of the country winners, we had to do a virtual awards ceremony.
Oh, that's fantastic though. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good job, Pennsylvania kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah, very impressive.
That's pretty good there. Okay, so we got the programming, we got the outdoors, we got the indoors, you got the park. What else am I forgetting to ask you about?
One of our staff has grown a lot in the past 6 years. I think our operating budget has more than doubled.
Right.
We're with the goal of, all those things I said. One of our most recent hires, Carlos Barragan, leads our bilingual community programs.
Fantastic.
So we have monthly Spanish language bilingual programs.
Oh, very good.
In service to Spanish-speaking community, creating programming again that is accessible and new and relevant. So Carlos has spent a lot of time reaching out to Sonoma Valley organizations and folks in the community to better understand what kind of programs they'd like to see at the park.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, especially here in Sonoma County, Spanish speakers, of the general population, maybe 20%, 25%, especially if you look at the younger population.
Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Yep.
That's really good.
And Carlos does a great job. He just he's just fluidly navigating these new programs. And we, put a lot of pressure on his shoulders and said, hey, we haven't had this program before. Right. Would you like to design your own? And he's done a really fantastic job with that.
Good job, Carlos.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Another question I have, I've been up there a couple times on hikes. Yeah. Who plants all the poison oak? Is that like a volunteer? How does that work?
Well, it is prolific.
Yeah.
It is. I'm one of those people that is very sensitive to poison oak.
I get the horrible pink, purple.
I look at it and get it. I have to be very careful, and as careful as I am, I always end up with a little bit of it here or there.
It's because you're running. Running. It is, and I do tell people that when they come into the visitor center and they're going hiking, whether it's Overlook Trail, Sugarloaf, or whatever. I said, please look at the signs for poison oak and stay on that trail.
Learn to know what it looks like. Leaves of 3, let them be.
Let them be.
Yeah.
Winter gets a little trickier. You gotta look at the stem.
And I, again, have made that mistake.
Oh yeah, of course you have.
Traipsing through.
You just move a stick?
Yeah.
this little stick hanging off this bay tree and you get it right there. You mentioned an old growth redwood. Is that like a secret one that's way up on top I've heard about, or is it a different one?
There might be a secret one somewhere. But the one that most folks visit, we call the ancient redwood, is about a 2-mile hike from the ranch parking lot.
Okay, so I might be conflating two different
But the ancient redwood, some folks have called it grandmother tree. This tree has a lot of character.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And it's interesting because most people coming up here, when they think of redwoods, they either think of Muir Woods, which is near San Francisco, or of course Armstrong Woods, which is out in Guerneville as a state park.
Yep.
Muir Woods is a national park. But they don't know that we have redwoods in Sonoma Valley.
We are a redwood park.
We are. It's great. And when you go over, you've taken the road over like Sonoma by the Mountain Zen Center.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you come in this weird little valley and you're in a redwood forest.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest thing. You went from oak scrubland, vineyard oaks, redwoods.
And and you can do that all at the
You
park.
took the hike.
It's in 2 hours or less. Yeah, it's pretty unique. I mean, it's why we're all here.
No,
right?
I like it.
Yeah.
Matt, when you're not covering Jack London and the Pig Palace and running the trails and doing galas, what are you doing for fun?
That doesn't sound like fun to you. What do I do for fun? You know, I have 2 daughters in high school.
Oh.
Wait,
so
you asked me about fun.
You scowl. You're like, I asked my daughter the other, so she just got out of high school. I'm like, she's going out. And I think I said this before. I'm like, where's the rest of your shirt? She said, I saw a milk carton saying, have you seen me? And she walked out the door. I'm like, that was clever.
Yeah.
That was very clever.
That is clever.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you know, with all the shepherding and things going on in their lives, my oldest daughter is a senior in high school. So we've been doing some college tours,
You doing the
which
tours?
actually is a lot of fun.
That is fun, isn't it?
We went up to University of Washington.
Go Huskies.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. Really pushing a California school.
The old CSU, UC tuitions.
Come on.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
JCs are good. Start your way.
Santa Rosa JC.
One of the top in the nation.
Best of the best.
Yeah,
Right?
one of the top of the nation. Yeah, my daughter's at the JC now, and my son's in the UC system. And it's like, guys, in-state tuition is fantastic.
Yeah, what are we?
We literally have the best public school college system in the country. We literally do. So it's quite a blessing. And so you guys are out there going and imagining. Yes.
Yeah.
But she's like, Dad, I want to get out of here.
She wants to get out of here. She's got, but when the offer letters start coming in, that's when
Deciding. Yeah. Did you grow up here and then go to school someplace else, or did you go to school here?
Yeah, I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
I grew up partly in West Marin.
Okay.
Graduated from Bolinas School.
I had that Bolinas smell about you.
Yeah.
Like you were kind of this weird hippie. You didn't want to tell me where you're from. You're all cagey, but you pull up in a VW bus. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. And you're like, let's play, 4-man football.
Yeah. I take
West Marin.
Yes. Well, grew up in Bolinas. I take the address sign off my house so no one can find me.
I'm not letting the man find me for the
right.
mail.
Exactly.
So you grew up in Bolinas,
Yeah. And started at Tam High in Mill Valley.
Okay.
And did that joyful ride from Stinson Beach over Mount Tam into Mill Valley.
So again, going back to the Redwoods.
Yeah. Oh,
When people go down there, I'm like, don't be in the back of the car, because you go down to Muir Beach and Stinson, it's windy.
it's windy.
And
Yeah.
you
Try
would do that.
sitting on the back of a bus doing that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's like the kids who live in Sea Ranch that come into school way, way, way down.
Yeah.
So you did that.
I was one of those kids. I may or may not have chosen to hitchhike as a freshman. Back in
Don't tell mom.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you leave for college, or did you stick around?
I went to the University of New Mexico.
Okay. So you did get
I was actually I was born in New Mexico. My 2 older sisters were born in San Francisco. My dad spent some time in New Mexico.
Was he at White Sands? Are you about to convince say
Albuquerque? No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing that wild. When my dad finished grad school, he ended up doing some research in Albuquerque.
Area
Eventually,
51. Just tell me the truth. Just Matt, you don't have
well,
to lie.
sure,
This is a safe space.
Hey, listen, we.
Okay, what's up with New Mexico and those chilies? Like they love their chilies. Hatch chilies.
I just went to Molly Stone's in Green Bay, and they've been roasting them there to get my green chili fix.
So you're one of those people.
Oh yeah.
What's that? Because Californians, we like chilies, but we're not like
There's
New Mexico
nothing like a New Mexico green chili. You know what the state question is? Green or red?
Oh,
right?
is that like
and
a
the
salsa?
answer is both. So green chili is Hatch green chili. and red chili is the same chili, just over ripened.
Oh, I got you.
And then typically dried. And so they make a red chili from the over ripened red chili, and the green chili you typically eat fresh roasted.
Got it.
So this time of year, walking around New Mexico, you can smell roasted green chili, and there's nothing like it, my friend. Nothing like it.
I'm sensing a new fundraiser for
Yeah,
the
right.
park.
Yeah,
The green chili roast.
the big green chili roast.
Oh, it'd be
yeah,
fantastic. And that's when, yeah. Okay, so if we're going back to your daughters, they probably want to go experience something different.
they don't want to go to the University of New Mexico.
Go.
Can you believe it?
What's their mascot? They're not
The Lobo.
Go the Lobo.
Lobos.
Come on.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be a Lobo?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. This isn't good for podcasting, but this is.
Oh, so the Lobo looks like a
Yeah,
wolf. We're on the YouTube here. So you're making, let's just quickly do this. You're making a hand gesture, which is the index finger and the pinky. And if it was the 80s and we did this, you would be like making the satanic thing that Tipper Gore would bring before Congress, and you get in big trouble because you're twisted sister. But what you did instead was you made a little snout.
That's
as a
right.
Lobo.
Yep.
In Santa Cruz, you know what their little hand signal is?
They're banana slugs,
They're
right?
the banana slug, and they kind of, I think they go like this, and they kind of move them around like the ears. They have the thumb and the pinky, and they kind of like the eyes of a slug.
Somehow not as intimidating as the Lobo, but sure. Yeah.
Well, you see Irvine's the anteaters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty terrifying.
Well, you're threatening if you're an ant.
Touche. So you got these kids, and what you're doing for fun is you're currently taking your kids around to looking at colleges or to probably sports or clubs or stuff like that.
And, and seeing music. I love live music.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Love live music.
And you mentioned sometimes you swim.
I do. I've been getting harassing emails from folks I swim with because they've noticed I haven't been in the pool in a month and a half.
You're not a crazy person that swims down at the Hyde Street at the
aquatic
bay.
park.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have done that.
Did you get attacked by a sea lion? Because I've heard that's a thing. It's a
It is
legit thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. No,
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
My brother-in-law does that, and Jonathan, you're crazy.
Yeah. I have a group of friends who swim at China Beach in San Francisco.
With like in a wetsuit?
You know what? Some of them don't.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah. So anyway, I like the comfort of a beautiful pool. By the way, Sonoma Valley High School has one of the best pools around.
Sonoma Splash.
Sonoma Splash. And that's where I belong.
It's open to the public.
Open to the public. It's fantastic.
I've had them on here. They're great. Yeah. They're on all of our tourism maps. I highly recommend it, especially if people want a good lap swimming experience, but also like the kids stuff.
Yeah.
They have like wellness activities.
They've got a great master swimming program. Got it all.
Yeah. But do you have to do flip turns if you're a master swimmer, or like allowed to not do them?
You're probably allowed not to do them.
I watch them from the pool deck. Like I get there before I do my laps, and then like I watch them. And I'm sort of like, whoa, those guys are scary.
It's impressive.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're an active guy.
I try to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, it's a good way to stay fit, stay active, keep your mind sharp.
I'm afraid now approaching my mid-50s that if I don't stay active, that I'm going to start to
keep moving.
Yeah.
Move it or lose it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, did you know that you have to answer visitor questions on the podcast? Did I tell you that?
I may have heard that. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yes, I will answer visitor questions.
Good. Before we get to that, because some people actually, believe it or not, jump off the podcast before this part. So what is your website before we get to this section? Your website?
jacklondonpark.com.
That's really easy.
It's very easy.
I like the way that you use the name of the park for the website.
Yeah, we thought, hey, let's make this easy on everybody.
All right, jacklondonpark.com. Okay, so Matt, here we go.
Okay.
We've got 2 visitor centers, one at the plaza, one down at Jacuzzi Family Winery. People walk in, they take buses, they ride their bikes, but they'll call us, they'll text us, they'll slide into our DMs. Some people even send us letters. And they ask us sort of things. You're going to help us in a segment we call We Get Questions. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. This was a really hard one we got today.
Okay.
Today we got this one.
Okay, uh-oh.
A guy came up and said, "Where's the post office?"
Oh, where's the post office? Yeah. It is on Broadway, just a couple clicks down from Pete's. So you can grab a cup of coffee and then go get your passport photo or whatever it is you need to do at the post office.
You did it. That was great.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a post office.
Yeah.
And so that's in Sonoma proper. There's also one in Boys Hot Springs.
There sure is.
Fairmont across from Sonoma Eats.
Yep.
There's also one in Kenwood.
There's one in Glen Ellen.
And there's one in Glen Ellen around the turn, right?
It's right there. Yeah.
So,
and you can pop into the saloon after you do.
That's a great saloon.
Yeah.
What's the name of that saloon?
It is called Jack London Lodge.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic. Didn't he write John Barleycorn Days?
He
did. There's a story there. Yeah. Okay, where's the post office? So Broadway, right down from Pete's. That was easy.
Yeah.
You got this.
Okay.
You probably answer lots of visitors' questions at the park, though.
Sure.
Okay. Here's one. It's literally. I'm so glad you're actually here. This is funny because this a guy Gabe from Yountville. He's a retired mailman, and he came in and asked us. I've heard there is a walk from Sonoma to Fort Ross called the Camino de Sonoma. Is this really a thing?
Yes, it is.
It is.
And then you can see there are historic markers along the way that you can see when you turn off 37.
You're absolutely right. So this is interesting that people from Sonoma proper would go to Fort Ross to reenact when there's a Mexican mission here. It was a Spanish mission, but it became Mexican independence, so Mexican mission. And they were forbidden from trading with the Russians up on the coast. And it was just like, don't do that. You got to train with Mexico. The Russians had to train with Russia. So they said, forget it. We're going to break the rules. This is the possibly apocryphal story. So they walked from Sonoma to Fort Ross, and there's a group from the church here that reenacts that. And it's probably, as the crow flies, it's probably 30 miles. But I'm sure as the walk goes, it's really long. Yeah. So Gabe, the mailman, was then asking about it and trying to plot it out. So it goes right up Highway 12. Matter of fact, the fact that you mention that you connect sometimes over the hill.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who was trying to build a walking path from Napa to the coast. And that would be part of it if we did that. But I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah.
This kind of thing. So yeah, there actually is a thing called Camino de Sonoma. You can look it up online. There are groups that do it, but you can also put it together yourself. But it's not. There's portions of it that you should have a spotter on the freeway because I'm part of it on Highway 12.
Yeah. It can be dicey.
Yeah, and or you just go overland, and now you're in Poison Oak.
There you go.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Someone walked in and asked us this. This is actually kind of funny. I put on Shakespeare plays and would like to find a spot to host some outdoor plays in Sonoma. Got any ideas? Literally, someone asked me that today. So, kind of appropriate. Want me to answer this one, or you want to take it?
Well, we've had the same question.
She just came into my office.
It's a possibility. Yeah. In fact, I think there's a group called the We Players. They may be in San Francisco. I think they put on a production. I saw Othello done at Fort Point underneath the bridge. Oh. And the audience breaks up into different groups, and you actually go see the different scenes. Progressive. Right?
I like that.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Inside Fort Point.
Inside,
not outside.
Fort Point.
Inside that castle Civil War.
Yes, but make no mistake, it is the coldest place on earth.
It is. That would be an awful place to be posted, by the way. When you do that trip in fourth grade, you're like, this is horrible.
The worst.
Yeah. So there are a bunch of different places. Buena Vista Wineries had Shakespeare for a while.
That's right.
But there's like talk of like, okay, imagine, to your point about Othello, imagine you're in a cave and you do something dark like Macbeth. Right? Yeah. So like a wine cave could do that. And there's several wineries with wine caves. Imagine you're doing Midsummer Night's Dream and you're outdoors somewhere, like Sugarloaf, Regional Park or something like that. Have you been up to the Sonoma Botanical Garden?
I have.
They have a natural amphitheater.
Yes.
And you have like live music.
I've seen the Wednesday night
the
live music there. Jeannie's done such a great job with the program.
Really good job.
She's wonderful. There. I brought my jaded freshman in high school there last year.
I'm going to do this.
Yes. Arms crossed. Not this. I'm not.
Lame.
Brought her to the botanical garden. Magical.
She loved it?
Yes. We even got lost. And she had a blast.
It was, they had the sculptures, the gigantic birds there made out of bamboo. Those are really cool.
I haven't seen those. We did the frogs.
Well, the frogs were fun.
The frogs were great. Yeah. I brought her to the frogs. We love the frogs.
So it's so yeah. The answer is to this person. There are probably lots of places you could put on a play. The Sonoma Community Center. I would encourage you to look around, send out an RFP to the different venues, but you could definitely do that. And you could even do something like they did at Fort Point, but like a progressive scene in different places.
Sure.
Maybe along the Sonoma bike path. You could do one there, right? So that'd be pretty good. Did you study any Shakespeare while you were doing your history stuff, or you just more straight history? You're just doing...
I mean, I did the mandatory...
Yeah. So you did like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Well, what we did, Twelfth Night, Merchant of Venice was one I remember.
Okay, you're pulling way back. I can see you. You're like...
Yes. Yeah.
The same way. That's
you can hear my brain clicking, right?
What's there? Here's one we got via text. Okay. My name is ASYA. Asya? My name is this name, ASYA. And my friends and I bought the Sonoma tasting passes online. We were wondering if we still had to call and reserve spaces at each place or if we could just walk into the wineries. What is recommended that we should do? Thank you.
Oh, I always recommend calling in advance and reserving just to ensure that wherever you are is going to have space for you, because you've made a long trip up here. Sure would be terrible to be turned away.
I think that's a great idea. So you are correct on that. So my biggest caveat is this. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Many of them, especially the tastings around the plaza, you can kind of eyeball it. And if there's no one there.
And by the way, that's sometimes the most fun you have, right?
Yeah.
Just impromptu showing up.
Just going in there.
Exactly. And you're right. And most of the time you will be accommodated.
You will. But to your point, if you've traveled and there's a specific one you want to go to, just call ahead. Most of the time, like, sure, Matt, come on in. Bring 4 or 5 people, not a problem. Or they might say, hey, 10 o'clock, we've already got a big group. It's a bunch of bachelorette parties. Come at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? And you might have a better experience.
Exactly.
So that's a good one. By the way, that is a very long text, and it was very well written. So
Yes.
The kids are all right. Yeah, they're doing okay. Here's one we got. Can we watch the wine grape harvest?
So yes, and I know that in our park, and sometimes you'd have to be up in the middle of the night to watch it. So sure, but
how late do you want to stay up?
Yeah,
early
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so your point, Matt, most of the wine grape harvesting happens when it's cool out, both for the workers and for the grapes. When grapes get too hot, they start to ferment. And when you put them in the big trucks and they get hot, they don't want that. The winemaker wants to control the level of fermentation and the heat. So most of it happens at night. And it's really amazing because you see these really hardworking crews. They'll come out. You see the lights along the hills, and it's fun to watch. And in the morning, the wine grape trucks are going to the crush pads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you know that because it's always when you're on your way to school.
That's exactly right. and you're stuck in between two of them.
And you're like, you know what? They worked hard.
That's right.
This is the underpinning of our economy. This is wonderful.
Exactly.
But yeah, you can probably see it, but not up close. But what I would recommend is going to places like St. Francis Winery, where you can take a self-guided tour of their vineyard and oftentimes see like about to harvest or where they're going to harvest. Loxton Winery, he'll let you on the crush pad. Benziger, right down from you. The tour includes going to look at their crush pad.
That's right. And great tram tour up there.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about like hijacking one of those tram tours and bringing him to Jack London Park?
You know what?
Like
the truth is I have. Yes. Those trams, I love those trams. You
should do it.
Looking into it.
And Jack London was an oyster pirate. And he would go and like raid things.
That's right.
So I think you would be in character.
To be a tram pirate.
To be a tram pirate. And you're like, we're going to Jack London Park.
Well, he eventually joined the Fish Patrol and apprehended
really
pirates like himself.
Wow,
so he went to the other side.
Wow. He became the man.
Yes.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yep.
Just on a side note, he labor organizer, agitator, sailed around the world. The sloop, the Snark.
The Snark.
Which you can sail your own during the Jack London Yacht Race.
That's right.
Which is about a mile and a half, or maybe less, race on the raging waters of Sonoma Creek.
36
inches long Snarks.
And one of the best parties of the year. And the Jack London Yacht Club
Yeah.
they're a great organization. So they have all that fun, but they do it for a cause, and they support a lot of local nonprofits.
And you can join the yacht club.
And you can join the yacht club, but you can get your very own snark.
Yeah, and you could sail that snark from Sonoma Creek to San Pablo Bay, San Pablo Bay to San Francisco Bay to Pacific Ocean, to anywhere else in the world.
They are, and I understand they are a real yacht club,
Yeah.
and they have reciprocity in other yacht clubs.
You roll into St. Francis Yacht Club there in San Francisco, they've got to accept it, don't they?
That's yes.
You're over there with the tech bros and you. Yeah,
That's
how
right.
it is. So, Matt, you answered all the questions correctly. You did. You're great. You really have a knack for this. You should look at doing some sort of visitor-facing nonprofit, like calling, because you might be good at it.
What could that be, though?
What could it be? If only. If only. You did it. You answered all the questions. We learned all about it. It's been great having you here.
It's been a pleasure.
Before we go, though, if I want to leave this fantastic podcast and go immediately to your website, can you remind me what it is one more time?
Absolutely. It is jacklondonpark.com.
jacklondonpark.com. You can also find out tickets for the gala. You can find out about the Wild Trail Challenge.
You can book a tour. You can do you can buy Jack London books.
Get the merch.
You get the merch.
You can donate if you want.
Oh, yes.
Donate.
Yeah, I encourage that. Nothing makes you feel better than making a donation to Jack London Park Partners.
It's all right there. So after you go to jacklondonpark.com, please go to sonomavalley.com for deals, special offers, and events, and find out more fantastic things to do in Sonoma Valley. Matt, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Tim.
Good to see you. Mom and Dad, thanks for listening. And yeah, let's go up to the park, Mom and Dad. It's going to be a great time. So talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.